Hello there everyone. Surprise live with Barb tonight. Things are looking a little different on my Facebook here, so I'm hoping that I'm going to be coming through just fine. Alright, it just looks like I have a lot of space over here and I can't see my comments. So 1 second here while I figure out what is going on. Okay, now I can see. Okay, perfect. There we go. All right. Well, thanks for joining me. My name's Barb Ryder. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'm coming to you live on a Wednesday, which I usually don't do that. And I just thought I would share. I have 3 cards that I need to create and make a video for, so I thought I would come on here and share them with you. Let me know when you're here, and I'm not usually on Wednesdays, so I'm not even sure if I'll get anybody. I'm going to pull it up on my phone and see what it looks like on my phone, see if anything is happening. Oh, good. I see that one person is on here. Yes, this is a surprise. So thank you for jumping by. And hopefully these are 3 fun folds. I'm hoping that you will enjoy them. And so I'm just going to get right to it and give you measurements as I go and see what you think. All right. So just let me know as you jump on. Oh, hello, Sudavu. Welcome. I'm going to go ahead and turn down the camera and get started on the projects. All right. So we are using, the first fun fold is going to be using our party banner dies. And these are really big dies, okay? I am using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I believe it's the 6th one in here. Let me see. Yeah, the 6th one is the size that I use to create the card front and back that we'll be working with. So I'm going to just put these away. I wanted you to see that. And then the designer paper is still a current designer paper. It is not on last chance. The designer paper is not. And that is Floral Charm 12 by 12. Okay? I like this. There's lots of great colors and designs in here, but that is the paper we are using. So let me show you what I've got. I've cut out 2 of this design. Front, we're going to use the front and back, and then with the piece that I had left over, I cut a quarter of a, I think it's a quarter of an inch off of this piece, because this was a 4" by 12, and so I cut these 2, and then I had this piece left, and then I cut these 2 little pieces off. So this left me with, let me grab my, so this is a 1 1/4, and it's going to be cut down. This is 4, but yeah, 4 inches. I think I've got to cut it down a little bit. Yeah, I'll cut it down a sliver after I get it on here. Okay, so 2 designer paper. What's left, I cut this down to 1 1/4, and it's going to go down to 3 3/4. Now I have a piece of white. Hi Bobby, hello. This is a piece of white, and this measures 11 inches by 2 3/4. This is scored at 3 1/2 and 7 and 10 1/2. Okay, so this strip of white is scored at 3 1/2, 7, and 10 1/2. Okay, we're going to be using that. I have also cut out a die, and the stamp set we're going to be using for this particular card is Words of Beauty. This is a stamp set bundle it is currently in the new catalog. It's going to continue in there. So we are using this one, and I use this die. You've got 3 dies that you can put words in, and I'm using this one right here. Okay, so I've already got that pre-cut. that die stuff is already done. So what do we need? We need the words just because. Just because. We're going to be using that. And I didn't have another one, but just because. Oh, wait. Yeah, I did. This says it's your birthday. I think I'm going to do, instead of it's your birthday, I think I'm going to do just because I think you, let's see, I appreciate you. How's that? I think I'm going to use that one. So make a different one from my example here. So let me pull out my, and I don't know if I shared this before. I'm pretty sure I have, but when I took my marker and went around all of the words so that I knew where to place these back in here as I finished using them, that way they all still fit. I appreciate you is right here. Use that one and pop that there. Okay, so that's what we need. I'm using Timid Tiger as my ink. And what are these little gems I'm going to use? Let me grab them. The gems that we're using are the Moody Palette Glossy Dots. Okay, so let's do our stamping first. I need to find my, oh, here it is. Let's put this down. That was my cleaning, that was my Stampin' Scrub that just fell on the floor. Let me grab it because I'm going to need it to clean my stamp. Okay. Alright. Now, these will fit on this little piece, but you have to make sure that you stamp your because first. I'm using Timid Tiger. And you got to stamp it right down pretty far on the bottom. So I'm going to get myself right in here so I know I've got this where I want it to be. And I am going to stamp that kind of in the middle. Let's see, right there. Okay? And then the word just. And I'm going to put that a little bit over here to the left, like so. Alright, I did it. Yahoo! Alright, now this is the part where I get a little confused. So, let me see here. Okay, so that's going to go up here, like that. And so I'm going to be stamping here. And again, I'm going to be stamping. I appreciate you. So many people I appreciate in my business that I am very thankful for. We just had a great day, a one-day retreat, and I had so many of my team was here along with customers, and all of them were so appreciated. Well, hello, Lori. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you coming by. I'm usually not here, but I decided to come on a Wednesday. Lots of demonstrators are on the cruise that normally are on Wednesdays. And I had these 3 cards, these 3 fun folds I needed to record for our team. This was for a team project, and I wanted to get these recorded. So I thought, you know what? I think I'll just go live and we will do them together. All right, so this is going to be the inside of the card. Now, I had mentioned I cut these little strips, and I am going to use them, and I think I'm going to go with the, I don't know, do I want to do this or this? I think I'll go with the orange. I think I'm going to do the orange. And I'm going to use some glue, and I think I'm just, this glue is almost gone. So, you know what? This is longer than I need, obviously, right? So I'm just going to lay this down and clip this off so I'm not doing glue on a whole bunch that I don't need, right? Get it straight here. And just cut that off. And then, since this needs to be the same, I can just use this as my guide. And we're going to lay that down and just cut that the same. Super easy. Alright, now let's put some glue on here. Like I said, I think this is almost, I don't even know if I've got any in there. Yeah, there's some. Okay. It's easier when you have a little strip like this to use your glue, in my opinion. Alright, so this is just going to kind of go down here as another decorative part of the card right there. Okay, and then we have this inside piece. I'm going to just go ahead and put that up on this inside. This will be the inside of our card, but this is what creates the fun fold too. This, oh my word, this is really empty. Okay. Okay. Grab this. It was beautiful here today. Here in Michigan, depending on where you're watching from. Yeah, it was a little warmer, but that's okay. It's summer, you know, why not? All right, so there, I'm just going to put some decorative there, and then this gives you plenty of space. You could write, do all your things. What we're going to do is this piece has to be glued onto our front and back. This, I'm going to have this as my front, and so the insides are going to be orange like this, and the front and the back will be these. Okay, so this goes on the front of my card up here. So I want adhesive on here. Before I do that, I am going to grab my bone folder and do this so it's a little more folded. I think I'm going to go ahead with the glue again and use that on this part of my flap. Okay, and again, I want the front to be here. So I'm going to lay this down, and I kind of want this, I want to make sure that I'm in the middle of my design. And if you give me a second here, I'm kind of, let me see, this is probably easier like this. Okay, this is what I want. So I'm just going to lay this down just like that. Okay, it's not right at the edge. It's down just a sliver. All right. Make sure that's stuck on there good. And so what happens is this is connected and it's going to come like that. I'll show you better in just a second. All right, now I need to turn this over because this needs to go on this side. So what we want to do is we're going to put adhesive on the whole, this back side here. I'm going to use this adhesive. My Stampin' Seal. All right, now just line up your tops so that they match, okay, and your bottoms match, just like that. All right, so that's the back. This is the front. All right, let me do this so you can see how this is going to open. Let me do it sideways. So this will be the way it opens, just like that, okay? All right, now the next thing we're going to do is, remember I have this piece right here, so to bring in that orange, I'm going to do that. But remember I said this was a sliver bigger, and the reason is because this was cut at 4 inches, but when I ran it through the die, it makes it just a little bit smaller. So I just need to lay this down, and again, kind of freehand, and cut this little piece off of the side so it's not hanging over, if I can get it straight. There we go. All right. Okay, this is going to go down onto the front. And probably, you know, middle way through the card there, just like that. So that's what I'm doing next. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of our Secret C ribbon. If I can get it there. This is the sheer Secret C. I am going to do a fake bow. And basically you just do a loop and you come back and do another loop. And depending on how big you want it to be, I want it to kind of cover a lot of the area. So this is about right. So I need to grab I have my paper scissors. I need to grab my ribbon scissors, and we're almost done with this first card. Okay, there's that. Now I want this, like I said, I want it to kind of go right like that. So I think what I'm going to do is grab some dimensionals here, and see, I've got a piece. I'm going to put this kind of across the whole thing to kind of hold it down a little bit, because this is going to get dimensionals and then pop up over top of that. Okay, so I'm going to put one over at this end, on each end, because I got this piece in the middle. So pull that, this and this. So many things are on the, well, there's a lot of things on the last chance list. They just added some more, which I think there's some really great things on there. So make sure you go and check it out if there's, and see if any of your wish list is still going to be available, or if it's on the last chance list. Okay. All right, so there's what we have. Okay. So that's what we have so far with our pretty ribbon there. And then let's go ahead, we're going to add these gems. Like I said, the matted dots here are what we're using in the Secret C. And I'm going to get my pin here to put my ribbon back together. Okay. And we are going to take the large one. Okay, I need my pick tool to do this. I'm going to hold this and slide this off. Okay, I think I'm going to slide it off. There we go. All right, so I'm going to put one kind of right there. I'm going to put another one right above it, just to give some interest right there. Then I have one other little one left over here. I'm going to take that one and put it right there. Okay, and I can see right now that this is not very straight on the side. So let me fix that so that it looks better. There we go. That's better. Okay, card number 1 in this fun fold. And again, these are the banner dies, which are amazing. All right, so just because, and then you lift it up and you can have your sentiment there or more design, and then it just pulls out and you have this really fun fold. Okay, there's fun fold number 1. Let's put that aside, and then I'm going to put this over here. I got stuff over here on the side, so bear with me one second. Next, we're going to use one of the designer papers. Again, this is not on the last chance, so it's still very much available, called Lovely Blossoms. And there are some amazing things with this paper. So check that out. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use the Scalloped Wishes bundle. And let me pull the items I need here. This one, and this one, and this one. Whoa, whoa. Nope, that's for the next card. Okay. All right, got my things I need here. I need my black ink, whether you use the hybrid or the Memento. I actually have the hybrid. So let me see, maybe I'll try that. Now the one thing about that, some people say that you need to let it dry a little more. So you can, if you have the Memento black, use it up, you know what I mean? So let's see here. I have taken the dies. I have used this die right here, the large scallop. I've used the wings for the dragonfly and the body of the dragonfly. Now those are what I used in the dies. Okay, on the sentiments, we're using the little tiny dragonfly, and I am using So Very Happy for You. Let me show you what I did. Grabbed all the parts and pieces here. Okay. All right. Let's grab this, put these over here to the side. So what I did, I have a piece of cloud cover. This is 4 1/4 by 8 1/2. 4 1/4 by 11, excuse me. I scored at 5 1/2. All right. And then I took a piece of the designer paper, and that is 4 by 5 1/4. Now, okay, so what I did is I laid this down on top. I took my die, I laid it on top here, and then I ran it through the emboss machine. And so I didn't put adhesive in the inside. I just laid it down to do that. But so what you'll do, I'm going to do it right now. Let's go back. Let's back up a minute. So 4 by 5 1/4. Let's put some adhesive on that. And when you do this, if you're making this for the first time, you do not want to put adhesive in the middle, okay, before you run your die. So make sure that if you're recreating this card, that you do not put adhesive in the middle when you lay this full sheet of 4 by 5 1/4 on the front of your card. Now I'm lining up, since I've already got this die cut. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Okay, and you would have your full sheet just like this. See that? So you pretend that's your full sheet. You're going to run this through, and then with the large scallop die, and you're going to get 2 pieces. Okay, that's what you need. So there's what we have. Now I have some old olive that coordinates here, and this is 7 1/2 by 4, and this is scored at 2 1/4. Okay, so there's that. 1 second here. All right. So what I'm going to do is this piece is actually going to go right here. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to put this down. Okay, this is just going to get centered right here. Well, let's see, we want to make sure that hang on. Okay, no. I had to look at my sample here. It's been a while since I created the sample. All right, so this is going to get centered right here into the inside of your card, just like this. Okay, just like that. And this does not put down. I have another piece of designer paper from the packet, and this piece is 2 by 3 3/4. Hi, Shar, welcome. And this piece is going to go on my side strip here, okay? Right here. All coordinates so nicely. Okay? It's going to go there. Now I'm missing a white piece here. 1 second. Let me find it. Okay, here it is. This piece right here. This piece is 3 3/4 by 5. That's going to go on the inside of the green, and this is where you will place your sentiment. And I actually think I have the wrong stamps that I want to use here. Okay, so there's that. Okay, all right, here comes the fun part. What we're going to do is this is going to close. All right, now you see how you've got this section here. This is where you want to put adhesive. So I'm going to take my adhesive. Maybe my glue will work better. Let's do the glue. Okay, all right, so now we're ready to do this glue here. So I'm just going to come around, put some glue down here, because that's the only place you want the glue, right there. Okay, so what you're going to do is we need to put this piece right here. You're going to put the piece of the cloud cover that you cut out. That's going to go glued in right here. Okay, okay, and all you do is you just fit it right down into the opening. whoops, slide that in there, get in there. Okay, that's going to slide right there, and it's only gluing right on the one side. This will make sense in just a moment. But look at how that coordinates so nicely with that designer paper, right? Okay, so there's that. So when we open this card, there you go, and then you have this. Now, see how you've got this little guy right here? Well, guess what? This is going to fit perfectly right there, so you have this on the inside. Now, I am going to put glue all over this because this whole thing is going to get glued. You'll see. Just like that. Oopsie. Good thing I'm on my silicone mat there. All right, now take this. Make sure that you're right side up. That's the other thing. If you have a directional paper, make sure that you are right side up on that paper. So all I'm going to do is match this up on this side, and because we cut them out at the same time, they match up exactly. Okay? And then just turn it over this way to make sure you've. So if you use your glue, you've got a little second here to shift it around a little bit, and there we go. Nice, very nice. Okay, so there's that. Okay. Now the only trick here is you're stamping after you glue it on. So if you want to stamp beforehand, go ahead, but remember, you know, you're only going to glue on the one side. So I told a fib. We're not using this little tiny guy on this one. We are using our die cut pieces, which is, this is with the shimmer paper. This is, we've got new in color shimmer paper, so I chose to use the Barely Blush, and I cut the wings, and then the body is Secret Sea. Yeah. Okay, let's put this down, and let's see, what do I want to do? I know there's a sliver more in here, so we're gonna use this glue. If I can get it out. I got awful quiet there, concentrating, didn't I? Okay, there's a little bit. All right, I need to get a new glue bottle, don't I? All right, so let's just put these wings on here. Let me come down here so I can hold this down on this glue. There we go. You could use a mini glue dot to put that on too. That would work perfect. Matter of fact, I think I'll use a mini glue dot to put it onto my cardstock here. So before I put this down, I'm going to stamp my sentiment, and I am not using, I'm using black on another card. I'm using Secret Sea on this one. Oh my gosh. Okay. Like I said, I just needed to stamp these, so I thought, why not just come right on and do a live and give you guys some ideas. All right, so very happy for you, and this is Secret Sea, and I want to stamp that right here. Okay, yeah, I guess that's good. Right there. Nice. I did it. Now you could stamp some other something else, or you could, I mean, when you put this, close this up, just make sure that when you are doing your writing on the inside, if you don't want them to see the writing before they open it, make sure that your writing is going to be under here and to the right. Does that make sense? Because they'll see it here first thing, like all over here when they open the card. Hopefully that made some sense. Let me clean this stamp while I'm thinking about it. Okay. There's that. And last but not least, we are going to go ahead and put this down with some mini glue dots somewhere. I have them. Where did I put them? Right here. How is everyone doing? I haven't been on here a while because we had Memorial Day, and I just had a super, I couldn't do it on Sunday, so sorry I wasn't here on Sunday, but That's just how it was. We had our retreat on Saturday. One of the things to remember when you're putting this on, make sure you don't get too far over that it will affect your opening right here. So I'm going to put this kind of like that so that it does clear when it opens. Okay? All right, so there's that. And then last but not least, we're going to take the white matte dots that I have here, and we're just going to place them. Let me come up here where I can see. Let's see. Let's take that big one. Where are we going to put it? Let's put the big one like right here, and then the two little ones, we'll put them up here around the words. Okay, kind of like that. All right. Fabulous. Okay, so here is card number 2, Fun Fold. Okay, so there we go, and there we go. And you've got pretty on the inside, right? You guys like that one? And you can use this technique with any shape that will fit in this area, right? So there is card number 2. Alrighty. Let's move that over here. And then our last card is going to use one of our new designer papers. And this one is called Artisan Sketch Garden. Now these are all black and white. And if you like this kind of thing, these are really nice. Thank you guys. I'm glad you liked the cards. But you got black and white flowers that you can fussy cut or do whatever, circles, do some die cutting. But yeah, this is really nice black and white paper. You can color it, you can sponge it, you can spritz it, you can leave it black and white. We're going to do a little coloring with some color pencils. Let me get my little packet here. Okay. And I have cut this one here. I am going to fussy cut it in a minute. But this Fun Fold, let me show you, give you the measurements. This is basic black. This base is 8.5 by 5 1/4. And the score is on, make sure your 8.5 is across the top of your cutter. And you score at 1 3/4, 5 3/4, and that's it. Okay, 1 3/4, 5 3/4. That's where you score. There's your base. Now we have a couple other pieces here we're going to be using. This piece is going to be for the inside. Wait, no, that is not correct. This piece does not go with this packet. I don't think. There we go. That's where my white piece was for the other card I just did. Okay, so what I have is I have two other pieces of the black, the Artisan Design Garden. And so one of them is 2, what do I have here? 2 and 5/8, and 5 1/8. Okay. You know what? Hang on that I do need the white, but this isn't the right one. Hang on, I got the wrong white piece here. Just a second. Gracious me. Let me see what's going on here. Why do I not have the right piece? I know that's not right. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to have to cut this piece because I need, this gets layered, okay? And I just think I've got to cut this piece down. So, the reason is, let me see what size I need here. I'm so confused. All right. Start over. Let's start over. Start over. Do over. Base. Okay, I already told you the measurements on that. You're going to have a piece of white. This piece of white is, it's actually 3 3/4 by 4 1/4, and you're going to score it. What do I want to say here? We're going to score it at 3 1/4. Okay, so that you've got this small lip on the side. folded piece, right? That's what you need. Then you need, I have 2 other layers here. This white is 2.5 by 5, and my black is 4 7/8 by 2 3/8. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put these down right now before we go on to our designer paper. So this black is going to layer onto the piece of white. So this is a beautiful black and white card, but we're going to have a pop of color here in our vase of flowers. Okay, see how that layers? That's what I want. Okay, we have this, I don't know if I measured this yet, but this is 1 5/8 by 5 1/8. We're going to take this, and this is going to go, now this is important, okay? This is going to go on this side of your fold piece here, okay? All right, so there it is. We're going to put this right here. All right, let me get that in here. It's just a sliver around the outside, like 1/8 of an inch all the way around the outside. So I'm trying to just measure it up. So there we go. Okay, there's that. Then we're going to take this piece, and this designer paper is 2 5/8. I think I measured this already, by 5 1/8. This, and again, you can use any designer paper, but this is so pretty when you color these vases in. All right, let's do this. This is just going to fit right in here between your score and just a very, like a very, almost, I don't know if it's an 1/8 or a 1/16, but anyway, there you go. All right, so right now this is completely open, so you've got designer paper here. Okay, okay, this is going to go like this, right there, like this. So for right now, I'm going to go ahead, we're going to put this down on the front. Okay, so now that we've got like all our parts and pieces put together, we'll start some of the detail stuff, right? Okay, so we've got this piece right here, and this is where I need my little dragonfly that I thought we needed earlier. What I'm going to do, I am going to use the hybrid, the basic black, and if you haven't used this and opened it up, hi Diana, welcome. Surprise live for me. Just be careful when you're opening it, that way you don't get it all over yourself and stuff like that. I don't know, I'm going to try to zero down in really close so that you guys might be able to see this a little better. Let me see if I can do this. Okay, hold tight. See if how that's about as close as I can get. Okay, what I want to do, you want to make sure that when you do your stamping that this fold is on the left, okay, because I want to stamp it before I put it in my card. You want to make sure the fold is on the left. Alrighty, and we're going to be stamping over here. Now we're going to be stamping a little bit here and over to the side, and you'll understand why when we put this together, and you'll see the fun fold. The technique I want to share with you is how to make this look like it is flying. So you're going to ink up your little guy, and I just want to make sure he gets inked up really good. Oh, that's too much. See how wet that is? That is way too much. I squished it too hard because it's not going to come out very good. And let me clean. I just got carried away with that squish. Now this is taking the place of your stays on and the memento. So it's going to stain your it's going to stain your stamp, just so you know. Okay. I'll be honest, not super crazy about it, but if you need a black, you don't have the memento, this one is what you'll get. This is what you're going to get. I want to make sure that this is stamping the right way. Okay, this looks okay. All right, so ink it up. And what I'm going to do is take my little dragonfly. I want him right here. I'm going to stamp it, and I'm just going to barely lift it up, and I'm going to just tap backwards. Okay? And that didn't work worth a darn. All right, let me try that. I'll tell you what, this isn't going to show, so we're going to do this. There's always two sides to the paper, right? Okay, we're going to do this again. All right. Need to make sure. Okay, I'm inked up, and so I'm going to stamp this and barely lift it up, and then just keep tapping backwards. And it still didn't work. Still did not. Okay, there we go. I want to show you this, okay? This is not what I want. This is not. I am not happy about that. Alrighty, let me see if I have another piece here cut out. Yes, I do. All right. So guess what? I'm scrapping this. We're scrapping this. Maybe in the winter it'll work better. Not working for me right now. So, I hate that, but I do not, what do you want to say? I do not edit my videos. This is all live. This is how it works, and this is real stamping, okay? That's how it works. So I'm going back to my Memento Black, and this is way too wet. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Memento, here I come. All right. So, like I said, I have another piece cut here. We are going to be using that and making sure I don't have black on my fingers. All right. Your little piece is over to the left. Remember that. Do you guys ever do this kind of stuff? All right. And there we go. Okay, we're going to try this again. So I'm going to stamp this down, and then I'm just going to bring it backwards and just tap it back. I don't know if you can see it, but why is this not stamping out all the way for me? Oh my word. I'm having a day. That is terrible. And again, we have two sides to the paper. We're going to turn it over again. Let me show you. I will show you my sample, and it turned out beautiful. I don't know why this is not stamping well for me. I don't know if it's my pad here. All right, let's try this again, Barb. Let me do it this way. Maybe I'm trying to do it sideways and I can't. I hope you guys just bear with me here. Okay, flat. Tap, 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 tap. Okay, that worked. Okay. See, I knew I could do this. All right, we're going to do one more and tap, 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 tap backwards. What it does is it actually looks like, can you see that now? Where it looks more like it's flying, you can see. I hope that that looks better. Anyway, that's what we want. Okay? Woo, doggy. All right, now let's stamp our sentiment, and my sentiment is going to say, let's see here, I want hello, and I think I took that off my block earlier, so let's pull that out of here. I thought I had this out, and I think I put it away. So I want hello, and we got graduations coming up, and so I am going to make this a graduation card. So here's my hello, and I just need a little strip of white, and let's stamp hello. Could even go smaller, but let's see, here we go, right there. Super easy. And then I'm also going to put happy graduation is going to go right here. So let's get that black, happy graduation, ink that up, and I'm going to put that right over here to the, closer to the edge, like that. And if you'd go with black and white for graduation, guess what? you don't have to worry about what are their school colors. This goes with everything. That was my motto. All right. Clean that little guy and that one. And hello. All right. So this one, I'm just going to cut this at a little angle here. And like so. Just like that. And we're going to put our mechanism together. So what we're doing is we're going to put adhesive or glue right here. I'm going to go with the glue. I'm finding that I'm using glue a lot these days because it does work so well. So you just need glue on this little flap, okay? Glue or adhesive, whatever works for you. All right, and then what you're doing is you're going to see where your score is right here. You want to be just above that score, but you need to be in the middle of your card, okay? So about right there is the middle, and you don't want to be on the score. You want to be just like that, okay? So let's glue that down. Let's let that sit for a minute. While that's sitting, what we're going to do is you're going to take adhesive, and you just want adhesive right on the edge of right here. And come on. Oh, come on. Give me just a little more. Just a little more. There we go. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay this down. Well, no, we can't do that. Let's go ahead and do this. This works. We're gonna glue this down. Okay. So you only want adhesive on the edges. The reason for that, if you can see, is your slide is going to go underneath here, and I'll show you how that works. Have you guys seen this card before with this kind of a slide? Oh man, I got glue on my table. Ugh. All right. So let's take this. We're just going to slide it in here because there's an opening there. Okay. And this needs to go in here. There we go. Once you get it in there, you're good. All right. See that? So that's going to slide right in. And then when you open the card, it slides out. See there? Super cool. Now I probably could have done another little dragonfly there, but the whole key is that this stays in this pocket here and opens and closes. Now you can do a gift card. This is open, so you could slide a gift card in here for your graduation. Okay, so we're not done yet. We are going to go ahead and we'll be using that in a moment. And let's go ahead and let me show you. I'm going to also use a blender pen for this card. We're going to use watercolor pencils, and I am going to, now I need to find my vase of flowers. Here they are, right here. Now you could do a couple things. You could actually use those awesome in color shimmer brushes and color this. You can use the pencils. I'm using pencils with the blender pen. Okay, that's what I'm using. So we have Balmy Blue in this packet. So let's find Balmy Blue. I think it might be this one. Yeah, Balmy Blue's there. The color of greens, we have Garden Green in this one. So or Granny Apple. Let's use Granny Apple Green. Granny Apple Green, make it a little brighter. And then for the flowers, we can do yellow or orange. I think this one has Flirty Flamingo. We could do it pink. Or you could do Crushed Curry. Let's try some Crushed Curry. What do you think? Should I use Flamingo or Crushed Curry, guys? So pink or yellow for the flowers. You guys tell me what color the flowers, and we'll pick that in a minute. That way you stay with one box, or I have my other box here. I even have purple. I even have Fresh Freesia. What color do you think the flowers should be? In the meantime, let me show you how to, when you're coloring, just lightly rub this in, okay? It almost looks like you don't have any blue going on here, but I'm barely putting some blue down, barely, okay? Can you see that? Can you see that little bit of blue on there? What color should I use? Pink, yellow, or purple for the flowers? Pink, yellow, purple. Blender pen, okay? I'm going to take the blender pen because less is best at the beginning. So I'm going to take my blender pen. Now look how you can see this blue much deeper when you take that blender pen and put it onto the blue. I want a little bit more, I want a little darker up here at the top, so I'm going to pull a little more of my blue there and then rub this in. There we go. And look at that. See that blending? It looks gorgeous. Now you could color with blends, you could do that if you wanted to, but I think colored pencils work awesome when you're, you know, we got our colored pencils, let's use them. Purple, Bobby says purple. Bobby says purple. Let's see what else is there. Purple, yellow, or pink. Granny apple green is what I'm going to use for my stems. And I am going to just color on the stems themselves. And, of course, I'm going to bring and again, do it light at first, because if you get too much, you can't take it away with the pencils. So let's do some Granny apple green on the leaves here. This looks like it might, oh well, we'll do that the same color. Okay, so there I have my Granny apple green. So let's use the blender pen and see how dark it is with the blender pen. It darkens it a little bit. I think I'm going to come back in and give me a little bit more with the green, and I'm going to do a darker line like right in the center there. So you can, believe it or not, if you use your colored pencils often, you can definitely get some shading kind of look going on if you practice with them. They work really well in that way. Let's see, green. Let's get a little bit of green there. Okay, I think this is what I think I'm good. I think I'm good with the green. I like that brightness. Okay, all right. Looks like purple wins since I only got one vote there. So let's grab the fresh freesia. And is it this one? Fresh freesia. And let's do, like I said, start light. So let's do some light. And then we will go ahead and get some dark in there after we color. Now I am going to darken these. I'm not going to use the blender pen on these little buds, so I'm going to keep them a little darker. Okay. And I think I'm gonna go a little bit darker in the center. So all I'm doing to make it darker is I'm pressing a little harder as I am coloring. Okay. So there's that. So let's just take the blender pen and kind of blend that around, and it just, I mean, it's hard to see on the camera probably, but it really makes a difference in person. I'll bring this up to the camera so you can see a little better. Now once I've done the blender pen, I'm going to come in again. I'm going to go in a little bit darker in that center here. I like that a little more purplish to show up. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. All right. So I'm going to stick the fresh freesia back over here so I don't get it mixed up with the other box, right? Okay. There's that, and then these two go in this one. And now we're just going to do a quick fussy cut to cut my vase out. And I'm going to cut pretty close to the black line because I don't want a lot of white showing because it's going to be against the black. So I don't want a lot of the white outline showing. So I'm going to do it as close to the black as I can. And so yeah, I got a little challenge here with the buds because they're pretty small, but we can do this. If you guys don't mind watching me cut. This is the last card And we're just about an hour, but we've got 3 awesome fun folds I did. And we're finishing up with the last one. So if you jumped in late, go back and watch the replay for the other 2 fun folds, and bear with me when I get to my little pull out, because my dragonfly stamping was just causing me fits, right? Okay, so let's get around here. We're almost done. This is the hardest part around these little buds, but we gotta have them. Guess I could have cut them off. They're made in a way that I could have just cut them right off and not had them. But why? But why? Okay, and then get that out of my way so I can finish here. And then we're gonna come around and almost done. Couple more little cuts here. All right. Graduation. This is a graduation card. This would be a really pretty card for a get well. It would be a pretty card for sympathy. You could do this design with almost any sentiment, honestly. All right, there we are. There is our beautiful vase of flowers. I am going to pop this up, so let me grab my dimensionals here. There and there. I've got a half of one here. Let me see, I can put that there. Let me cut a couple little pieces here. I got some mini ones, but I'm just going to cut these a little smaller. That way I can get them there. Okay. Let's put this. This is going to go down on the right kind of corner. And do I have all the pieces off? Yes. Okay. So here's the front of our card. Here's our beautiful vase of flowers. Let's put that right there. Nice. And then my little hello is here somewhere, right here. We're going to pop this up also. And there we go. Actually, I think I can just use one of these and that'll work perfect. And this says hello. And that's just going to kind of go right here like that. And then last, let's use, I love these. These are the Pearls of Beauty. I'm going to go ahead and use the white, and they're very shiny. They've got a little bit of iridescent to them. And you've got the 3 colors, the white and like the crumb cake and calypso coral. We're going to use the white, and let's just put those to match our goodies. So what should we do here? Let's go like that, and small one like there, maybe one more small one. Where should we put that? Maybe just 2, because that seems weird up here. I think we're just going to do 2. All right, so here we are, 3rd card, 3rd fun fold card. So if you didn't catch all of the cards, go back and watch them. They're really great fun folds. All right, so here we are. Here is this one, and can you see the, oh, well, you can't see that well, purple and the green. It's really pretty in person. So this one is going to be your slide out like that. Okay, there's that one. Let me make some room and bring in the others that we did. Make some space here so you can see them, right? That's card number 3 that we did. Card number 2 was this one right here, and this fun fold is here and here, just like that. And then our last one was with the banner dies, and this card opens like this, and you have a pull out It's hard to see in the screen. But you have a pull-out for your card. So there's the 3 fun folds for tonight. Which one's your favorite, guys? Tell me. 1, 2, or 3. Which one do you like best? I'd be curious to know which one you like the best. Now these are projects that we did for our team meeting last month? Yeah. For May. There we go. Thank you, Sue. I see your comment. Lori likes 3. Yes. And let's see what else we got going. I think I need to trim this down just a sliver, this little ribbon here. Number 3. Oh, look at that. 2 number 3s. Awesome. There we go. That's a little better. It's not going over the edge. Now, this one right here, I'll tell you, will look very different if you use different designer paper. Designer paper will make the feel of the card very different. Thank you, Sue DeVue. You like number 2 and you like the designs. Thank you. There we are. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for being with me tonight. It's a little late, but I'm going to go ahead and come back up here and say good night. Thank you for jumping in last minute. Like I said, this was a last minute video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that there was a tip or trick that you learned. Hi, Jackie. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you like the fun folds. I don't know. I mean, my goal is to be on every week, okay? I just feel like every time that I set a time that I'm going to be here, something happens and I'm not able to. So, my plan is to be here Sunday and have some other great things to show you. I've got some beautiful swaps, a couple cards I got in the mail. What else? And then maybe even share some of the cards that we well, for sure, I'll share the cards that we did for our one-day retreat. Such a fun day. So, all right, you guys, thanks for joining me this evening. I appreciate your time being here. You guys have a blessed rest of your week, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.